My name is John, and for years I served as a soldier in the United States Army. I was trained to face any challenge that came my way, to be brave in the face of danger, and to never back down from a fight. But nothing could have prepared me for what I witnessed during my deployment to China. As a part of a top-secret mission, my team and I were sent to investigate a mysterious facility that the Chinese government had been building. What we found there was beyond anything we could have imagined. A glimpse into a world of magic, ancient rituals, and supernatural forces that challenged everything we thought we knew about reality. In the following account, I'll share the story of what I saw in China and how it changed my perspective on the world forever. It's a tale of mystery, danger, and the unexpected, and one that I believe is important to share with the world. So, sit back and get ready to be taken on a journey beyond borders, into a world that lies just beyond our understanding. I arrived in China with my team, ready for the mission that lay ahead. We were briefed on our assignment to investigate a secret facility that the Chinese government had been constructing. We were told that the facility was heavily guarded and that we needed to be careful not to attract attention to ourselves. As we made our way through the crowded streets of Beijing, I couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement mixed with trepidation. I had never been to China before, and the unfamiliar surroundings added to the already tense atmosphere of the mission. Once we arrived at the facility's location, we set up a base of operations in a nearby building. From there, we began our surveillance, watching for any sign of activity in the heavily guarded compound. Over the next few days, we watched as workers moved around the facility at all hours of the day and night, seemingly never taking a break. It was clear that something important was happening inside, but we didn't yet know what. As the days went on, I began to experience strange dreams and visions that I couldn't explain. They were vivid and intense, and they all seemed to be connected to the facility in some way. I didn't know what to make of them, but I knew that they were somehow important. Despite the strange occurrences and the feeling of unease that permeated the mission, we soldiered on, determined to uncover the truth behind the mysterious Chinese facility. I and my team had been observing the Chinese facility for several days, and we had noticed some strange occurrences. Workers were moving around the compound day and night, despite the project being in its final stages. It was evident that something was off about the entire situation. As the days went on, I started experiencing even stranger things. I began to have intense, vivid dreams and visions that were all connected to the facility and the project being conducted there. I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something important hidden just out of sight. One night while we were observing the facility, we saw something that we couldn't explain. A bright light appeared to shine from within the compound, and we could hear strange chanting coming from within. At that moment, I realized that there was something paranormal and otherworldly happening within the facility. This realization set in motion a series of events that would change my life forever. Over the next few nights, I continued to have strange dreams and visions that only confirmed my suspicion that the facility was the epicenter of paranormal activity. Despite the mounting evidence, I was still skeptical about the existence of the paranormal. But as the days went on, and the inexplicable events continued to occur, my skepticism was quickly replaced by a newfound belief in the unexplainable. As my belief in the paranormal grew, I became more determined than ever to uncover the truth behind the Chinese facility. I began to research ancient Chinese rituals and beliefs, hoping to find some connection to the strange events we had witnessed. As I delved deeper into the research, I uncovered a shocking truth. The facility was a site of dark magic, a place where ancient rituals were being performed to summon powerful supernatural beings. I couldn't believe what I had uncovered. My training had prepared me to face any enemy on the battlefield, but I was not equipped to deal with the paranormal. Determined to expose the truth to the world, I began gathering evidence of the dark magic being performed within the facility. With the help of my team, we captured video footage of the strange occurrences we had witnessed and documented the strange dreams and visions I had experienced. But our mission was not without danger. The Chinese government had become aware of our surveillance, and we were forced to flee the country before we could expose the truth to the world. Now, years later, I am sharing my story with the world. I want people to know that the paranormal is real and that there are forces at work beyond our understanding. My experiences in China have changed me forever, and I hope that by sharing my story, I can help others understand the unexplainable and prepare them for what may lie beyond our reality. I knew that I had to share the truth about the Chinese facility and the paranormal activity happening there, but I also knew that it wouldn't be easy. The government had labeled me as a traitor, and I was constantly looking over my shoulder, fearing for my life. But I couldn't let my fear stop me. I had to confront the dark forces that were at work within the facility, and I knew that I couldn't do it alone. I reached out to a group of paranormal investigators who had experience with similar cases. With their help, we formulated a plan to confront the Chinese government and expose the truth about the facility to the world. The confrontation was intense, and I feared for my life at every turn, but I was determined to see it through, no matter what the cost. After months of planning and preparation, we finally had everything in place. We traveled back to China, and with the help of some local contacts, we managed to break into the facility. What we saw inside was beyond anything we could have imagined. The workers we had seen moving around the facility were no longer human. They had been possessed by the supernatural beings that the dark magic rituals had summoned. We fought bravely, but we were no match for the power of the supernatural beings. We were forced to retreat, narrowly escaping with our lives. But we had succeeded in our mission. The world now knew the truth about the Chinese facility and the dark magic that had been performed there. The Chinese government was forced to acknowledge the existence of the paranormal, and they vowed to never again engage in such practices. It was a bittersweet victory, but I knew that it was a necessary step in our collective understanding of the world and the forces that exist beyond our reality. And I knew that despite the dangers and risks, I would continue to fight for the truth, no matter where it led me. After the confrontation in China, I returned to the United States with a newfound sense of purpose. My experiences there had shown me that the paranormal was real and that it was a force that needed to be reckoned with. But the journey had also taken a toll on me. I was haunted by the memories of the supernatural beings we had encountered, and I struggled to adjust to life back in the United States. As I settled back into civilian life, I continued my work as a paranormal investigator, helping others who were struggling with the unexplainable. But my experiences in China had changed me, and I found it difficult to relate to others who had not experienced the same things. I felt like an outsider, a man caught between two worlds. It wasn't until I met a fellow veteran who had also experienced the paranormal that I felt like I had found a kindred spirit. We bonded over our shared experiences and worked together to uncover the truth about the supernatural. Together, we formed a team of paranormal investigators dedicated to helping others who had been affected by the unexplainable. We traveled the country, investigating cases and exposing the truth about the paranormal. It was difficult work, and we often faced danger and skepticism from those who didn't believe in the supernatural. But we persevered, knowing that what we were doing was important and necessary. As the years went by, our team grew in size and reputation. We became known as some of the most respected and experienced paranormal investigators in the country. And through it all, I never forgot the lessons I had learned in China. The paranormal was real, and it was a force that needed to be reckoned with. But with courage and determination, we could face it head-on and emerge victorious. I'm a U.S. Marine Corps veteran. I've been through some of the most dangerous situations imaginable, but nothing could have prepared me for what I saw in the forests of China. It all started when I was hired as a security consultant for a group of researchers who were studying the flora and fauna in the remote forests of southern China. It was supposed to be a routine job, but as soon as I arrived on site, I knew that something wasn't right. The forest was eerily quiet, and I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. My instincts told me to leave, but I needed the job, so I stayed. For the first few days, things were relatively calm. We went about our research, studying the unique plant and animal life in the area. But as the days wore on, strange things started to happen. We would hear strange whispers and footsteps coming from the woods at night, and we would find strange symbols etched into the trees around our campsite. It was clear that we were not alone in the forest, but things took a turn for the worse when one of our researchers disappeared. We searched the woods for days, but we couldn't find any trace of her. As the tension grew, I started to see things that I couldn't explain. I saw shadowy figures darting around the edge of our campsite, and I heard strange voices whispering in my ear at night. But it wasn't until the night that I saw the creature that I knew that we were in serious trouble. I had been standing watch, scanning the trees for any sign of danger, when I saw something moving through the woods. At first I thought it was a bear or a large animal, but as it got closer, I realized that it was something far more terrifying. The creature was humanoid, but it was covered in fur and had glowing red eyes. It was hunched over, as if it was ready to pounce at any moment. I raised my gun, but before I could fire, it vanished into the darkness. I knew that I had seen something that was not of this world. I tried to tell the other researchers what I had seen, but they thought that I was just seeing things. But things quickly spiraled out of control. The creatures became more aggressive, and they started attacking us in the night. We tried to fight them off, but they were too strong and too fast. One night, as we were huddled around the campfire, we saw a group of the creatures standing at the edge of the woods. They were watching us, and I could tell that they were planning something. Suddenly, they charged at us, and we were forced to fight for our lives. It was a brutal and bloody battle, but we managed to fend them off. But as we were regrouping, I saw something that made my blood run cold. The creatures had summoned something even more powerful, something that I had only heard about in legends. The creature was a dragon, a massive beast that towered over the forest. It was covered in scales, and its eyes burned with an otherworldly fire. We knew that we couldn't fight the dragon, so we fled into the woods. We ran for what felt like hours, dodging trees and trying to stay one step ahead of the creatures. As we ran, I realized that we had stumbled onto something far more sinister than a group of rogue creatures. This was a dark magic ritual, a summoning that had gone horribly wrong. We had stumbled onto a portal, a gateway between our world and the world of the supernatural. The creatures had been summoned through the portal, and they were wreaking havoc on our world. We knew that we had to close the portal, but we had no idea how to do it. We were outmatched and outgunned, and it seemed like all hope was lost. But then, I remembered something that I had learned during my time in the Marine Corps. I remembered a ritual that was used to banish evil spirits from haunted houses and other haunted locations. I knew that it was a long shot, but it was our only hope. We quickly gathered the supplies we needed and set to work. The ritual was intense, and we had to work quickly before the creatures caught up to us. But we managed to complete the ritual just in time. The portal started to close, and the creatures were dragged back into the world of the supernatural. As the portal closed, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. We had saved ourselves and the world from a great evil. We quickly gathered our things and made our way out of the forest. As we emerged from the trees, we saw a group of Chinese soldiers waiting for us. They had been sent to investigate the strange occurrences in the forest, and they had seen the portal closing. I knew that they would never believe what we had seen and experienced, but I felt that it was important to tell someone. I sat down with one of the soldiers and recounted everything that had happened in the forest. As I spoke, I could see the disbelief and skepticism on the soldier's face, but as I finished my story, he simply nodded and said, "I believe you." I knew then that I had done the right thing. Even if no one else believed us, we had saved the world from a great evil, and that was enough for me.